Everyone has been waiting for the FIFA World Cup for 4 years, and this World Cup will bring joy to the fans, as it will bring tears because the FIFA World Cup held in Qatar this year might be the last World Cup tournament Luka Modric, Lionel Messi, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Fans from all over the world will witness their childhood idols for the last time on FIFA's huge platform. However, with the recent news that Qatar will ban beer sales from all World Cup stadiums just 2 days before the tournament is about to begin, has left a sour taste in the mouths of most of the football fans who will attend the matches live. FIFA confirmed this announcement by releasing this statement. Following discussions between host country authorities and FIFA, a decision has been made to focus the sale of alcohol beverages at the FIFA Fan Festival, other fan destinations, and licensed venues. The decision could lead to a legal action from one of FIFA's main sponsors, Budweiser. The alcohol company has a $75 million sponsorship agreement with FIFA. There is no impact to the sale of Bud Zero, which will remain available at all Qatar World Cup stadiums, FIFA added in a statement, which will likely be a little comfort to most of the travelling fans in Qatar. The U-turn in this decision reportedly came after FIFA was put under pressure from Qatar's royal family. The draws for the group stages took place in Doha, Qatar, on the 1st of April 2022. And the first group stage matches is going to be played on the 20th of November 2022. We will be mentioning each group and the participating teams in them. Each group has 4 teams collectively. The first group has the host country Qatar, alongside Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. With the recent news that Sadio Mane will be ruled out of this year's World Cup due to a tendon injury he sustained during a Bayern Munich fixture is a massive blow to Senegal. Mane was initially named in the 26-man squad for Senegal. The reports that are now emerging is that the versatile attacker and essentially a very key member of the squad will have to undergo surgery in order to repair the injured tendon. The Netherlands, on the other hand, are definitely one of the claimed favourites to win the prestigious Football World Cup. Led by their national coach Louis van Gaal, the Dutch team is a squad to look out for. Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, Manchester City's Nathan Ake, and Manchester United's Tyrell Malacia have been named in the squad. Even with an injury, Barcelona's forward Memphis Depay and uncapped 19-year-old midfielder Xavi Simons have also been included. Simons has scored 8 goals in 13 league games for PSV Eindhoven, which has earned him his position in the team despite his injury concerns. Now let's turn our attentions to Group B, which has the likes of England, Iran, and the United States of America. Wales will be keen to impress the world at their first World Cup appearance since 1958. Gareth Bale has declared himself 100% fit and ready for the World Cup, despite playing just 28 minutes of competitive football since September. Now applying his trade in America for Los Angeles FC, Bale last completed a 90-minute game for his country against Poland in September. More worrying for the Welsh manager Rob Page is the fitness of his key midfielder Joe Allen, who has been out of action since September due to a hamstring injury. With his exceptional work ethic on the field and off the field, Joe has been working around the clock with his physio to make sure he will be involved in the World Cup at some stage. But when, only he will know. Will this year's England World Cup squad be the zeros of the past or the heroes our generation has been waiting for? England has never been short of talent, being able to always field the best names associated with football history. England has only lifted the coveted FIFA World Cup trophy on home soil in 1966. The Three Lions will be a firm favourite to win Group B, but will have to overcome some enthusiastic challenges in their opening match against Iran, as the heat is predicted to reach 31 degrees. They will also need to make short work of the United States and Wales if they are able to secure top spot. With their poor run of form in 2022 so far, England's head coach Gareth Southgate would like to leave the past in the past. With a run of 6 games without a single win and being relegated from the Nations League, there is plenty of concern ahead of the group stages in this year's FIFA World Cup. Neymar has suggested that Gareth Southgate has made a selection mistake with his England squad. Neymar has hailed Manchester United winger Jadon Sancho as one of his 2 favourite English footballers, suggesting that Gareth Southgate has made an error in not picking him for this year's World Cup squad. Has the mind games already started? Despite everything, England's squad is full of talent, and the likes of Phil Foden, Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, Jordan Henderson and Bukayo Saka should ensure that they are top of Group B. A chief executive, Mark Burlingham, has told Sky News that they are braced to be fined for England captain Harry Kane wearing a One Love armband during the World Cup. In an interview at the England training camp in Qatar, FIFA was yet to send a response 2 months after the FA's request to wear the multicolored garment. While not directly referencing anti-LGBT laws, the armband is intended to promote inclusivity. FIFA usually prohibits the addition of unsanctioned slogans to kits and recently urged teams to not indulge in giving morality lessons at the first World Cup in the Middle East. With 10 World Cup appearances, the United States have returned to the World Cup after their record qualifying for 7 consecutive tournaments ended ahead of the 2018 edition in Russia. The red, white and blues are favourites to progress through to the group stages with England. Group C could turn out to be one of the least predictable groups during this year's World Cup, featuring Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico and Poland. You would be correct in saying that, on paper, the favourites are Argentina to top the group as winners heading into the knockout rounds, but with the likes of Mexico and Poland, who fear no team, you will have to consider that an upset is very likely. One name you will most definitely hear for the last time during a World Cup is Lionel Messi. The hopes of a nation have been pinned on the all-time great forward. He will be pleased to have some real talent and stability around him in this year's squad. But the simple truth is, if Messi doesn't perform well, Argentina have a little chance of winning it at all. Argentina opened things up with what should be at least a straightforward clash with Saudi Arabia on the 22nd of November. Any drop in points during this game will spell trouble for Messi's team against Mexico and Poland. Napoli's Hirving Lozano will shoulder much of the attacking responsibility for Mexico, particularly with Jesus Corona out injured. Mexico have made it to every World Cup since 1994, so there are definitely plenty of narrow nervous wins and draws along the way. Mexico's best effort was a quarter-final spot back in 1986, and they have reached the round of 16 7 times in total. Robert Lewandowski is of course a talisman, goal scorer and by far the most important player in the Polish squad. The Barcelona man is battling away in Barcelona, having left Bayern Munich, and perhaps won't arrive with the same kind of form behind him as he routinely did with the German giants. However, he remains one of the best strikers in the world, and this is likely to be his last World Cup, so he will want to go out on a high. Argentina against Poland would be a treat to watch, seeing the top 2 contenders for the Ballon d'Or, Messi and Lewandowski, fighting their way through the group stages. Is Group D the group of death? It has defending champions France. Along with them are Australia, Denmark and Tunisia. France striker Karim Benzema is out of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar after sustaining a thigh injury in training. Benzema won the 2022 Ballon d'Or, given to the Player of the Year in world football, after helping Real Madrid win the Champions League and La Liga. The French national team said he had suffered a thigh problem and would not be able to feature in the tournament. The whole team shares Karim's sadness and wishes him a speedy recovery, it added. The French Football Federation said an MRI scan confirmed a thigh muscle injury, which will require a 3-week recovery period. Defending champions France will also be without RB Leipzig striker Christopher Nkunku at this year's World Cup in Qatar, after he suffered an unsuspected injury in training. Nkunku, who is 25, was expected to play a big role in France's World Cup defense after scoring 42 goals for German giant RB Leipzig since the start of the 2021-2022 campaign. Yet a heavy challenge by Eduardo Camavinga is believed to have ended the striker's hopes. France boss Didier Deschamps has already explained why Manchester United striker Anthony Martial has been overlooked for their World Cup squad. Deschamps has previously claimed that the striker, who has not been selected for the France international side since September 2021, lacked in finishing. Martial has now been overlooked twice for the Las Blues World Cup squad. Following an injury to RB Leipzig's forward Christopher Nkunku, Martial was not among the 8 forwards selected by Deschamps for the tournament in Qatar, with Kylian Mbappe, Olivier Giroud, Osama Dembele, Antonio Griezmann, Kingsley Coman, and Marcus Thuram all selected in a squad with an embarrassment of attacking riches. Olivier Giroud insists in the absence of leader Paul Pogba for France. Ex-Manchester United ace Pogba helped France to lift the World Cup in Russia in 2018 with some inspirational displays and speeches. But the midfielder has been ruled out of the Qatar 2022 World Cup with a knee injury, along with fellow teammate N'Golo Kante, Christopher Nkunku, and now the recent Karim Benzema. Australia, on the other hand, have released a collective statement against Qatar's human rights record, becoming the first 2022 World Cup team to do so. The video message criticizes the World Cup hosts' treatment of migrant workers and LGBTQ+ people. Football Australia has released a statement saying the suffering felt by the workers and their families caused by the tournament cannot be ignored. Australia will play at the tournament in Qatar, which starts on the 20th of November. The video, which features 16 players, calls for effective remedy for migrant workers and the discrimination of same-sex relationships. The men's Danish soccer team has been forbidden for wearing training shirts showing human rights messages at this month's World Cup in Qatar. Manchester United midfielder Christian Eriksen has been included in the Denmark squad that will compete in the 2022 World Cup as head coach Kasper Schulman named 21 of his 26-man party for the finals in Qatar. Christian Eriksen, who has recovered fully from the heart attack he suffered in Copenhagen during Euro 2020, was included in the squad that boasts a wealth of big game experience. The fifth group consists of Spain, Germany, Costa Rica, and Japan. Personally, I'll be waiting to see Spain against Germany. The German tanks and the Spanish giants, both of their attacking formations, are a delight to watch. Spain are a strong contender for the upcoming 2022 FIFA World Cup. Spain is ranked 7th in FIFA men's rankings. Going into the World Cup, they are one of the favorites to lift the trophy. With several high-profile players in the final squad, there are high expectations for La Furia Roja. The team still has plenty of stars. Although Spain had a fair share of World Cup qualifications, they have been the showpiece's consistent participation since 1978. Since 2006, they have produced the best players in their history, who propelled Spain to its first ever World Cup victory in 2010, becoming the first European country to achieve this feat outside of Europe. The Spanish squad from 2008 to 2012 was hailed as one of the most fearsome sides that dominated international events. However, they experienced a setback when key players retired. The appointment of Luis Enrique and the restoration of team togetherness, as well as the emergence of young players, is a positive indication for the country. Spain and Germany will play a high-quality encounter. While Spain should win over Japan and Costa Rica, they can also finish first if players remain motivated and capitalized on Germans' vulnerabilities. The Germans have underperformed this season, with Hansi Flick still trying to put together his team, and players unable to perform under his tutelage. Spain can exploit this weakness if Germany fails to show composure, as they will be able to avoid a tough opponent in round 16. The German football team has a rich history at the World Cup, beginning from the time when it played as two separate teams, East and West Germany, up until the 2014 edition, where it was crowned as champions for the fourth time. The Russian 2018 World Cup saw Die Mannschaft finally face the shame it had avoided on three previous occasions, a first-round exit as defending champions. Germany has been among a handful of teams to participate in the tournament on a consistent basis. In fact, ever since the qualification process was introduced ahead of the 1934 World Cup, Germany has qualified for all tournaments. The first World Cup in 1930 was by invitation only, and West Germany, along with several other European teams, turned down the offer for several reasons. While Germany might not be among the outright favourites this time around, fans of the Die Mannschaft will settle for nothing less than a record-equalling fifth title. Despite being in a tricky group that includes Costa Rica, Japan, and Spain, Germany should progress to the round of 16 and possibly reach the semi-finals. As the saying goes, never count out the Germans. Belgium have failed to hit the heights expected of them in recent years, but World Cup glory could finally be on the cards if they manage to overcome Canada, Morocco, and Croatia in Group F. The Belgian Red Devils, who have one of the most star-studded squads in international football, will compete against fellow World Cup 2018 semi-finalist Croatia, who ended up as runners-up 4 years ago. Could this year finally be the year Belgium lives up to all the hype? Quarter-finalists in 2014 and semi-finalists in 2018 suggest that a place in the final in this year's 2022 edition for one of Europe's strongest and most deadliest outfits is most likely. The quality in the Belgian team comes in abundance, with Kevin De Bruyne remaining the standout asset. Fellow midfielders Axel Witsel make up an impressive midfield trio, while Romelu Lukaku, Dries Mertens, and Eden Hazard form part of a deadly attack. Regardless of their recent club form, once the chips fall into place, this attacking forward team is definitely a team to look out for. In just their second ever World Cup final appearance, following their first in 1986, Canada are back on the biggest stage of them all and won't just be looking to make up the numbers in Group F as they go in search of creating more history. Reaching the semi-finals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup last year was an achievement in itself, but qualifying for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar after finishing top of the North American qualifying section ahead of the United States, Mexico, and Costa Rica shows Canada should not be underestimated just yet. Morocco have qualified for their second successive World Cup and will be looking to improve on their group stage exit in 2018, in which they finished rock bottom without a single victory. There was a noticeable 2-2 draw with Spain in their final match, but Morocco's chances of making it into the knockout stages are much stronger this time around. The Atlas Lions reached the quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations earlier this year, while they defeated the Democratic Republic of Congo 5-2 in a third-round World Cup qualifying playoff to book their flight to Qatar. Should they manage to defeat Canada, then pick up positive results against one of Belgium or Croatia could stand Morocco in good stead. Replicating 2018's run to the final is unlikely, but Croatia have shown that they have what it takes to compete with the very best. And similar success throughout this year's tournament will be the main aim if they can make it out of Group F. Croatia must find a way of showing that defeats against Argentina and England on their way to the 2018 final was no fluke, although last year's disappointment of exiting Euro 2020 in the last 16 was a reality check for them. A victory over Russia in their final game in qualifying ensured they would return to the World Cup stage in 2022. With the likelihood of this being Luka Modric's final World Cup appearance, he, amongst the many other legends, will be looking to add this coveted World Cup trophy to their arsenal. Croatia had fought well throughout their last World Cup, but they couldn't end up victors. They had lost to France and ended up second in the 2018 World Cup edition. The seventh group has the five-time world champions Brazil. Along with them are Serbia, Switzerland and Cameroon. Brazil have topped their group in each of the last 10 World Cups, and they should have few problems in finishing at the summit of Group G this time around. Would likely see them take on South American rivals Uruguay in the last 16, and then 4 times world champions Germany in the quarterfinals. The latter fixture in particular would certainly test the Brazilians, but is one they would be regarded as favourites to progress from. Victory in the last 8 could see a repeat of the 2021 Copa America final against Argentina in the last 4, and we are backing tight side to get revenge over their South American counterparts. An 8th World Cup final may be on the cards for Brazil against current holders France, and considering the strength in depth that tight squad possesses in all departments, this could be the year the Brazilians live up to the hype and lift the trophy for a record-extending 6th time. Heading into the tournament in such fantastic form and with such exciting talent all over the pitch, it is hard to ignore Serbia as a potential dark horse pick. Very capable of causing problems to Brazil, the Eagles should have too much for Switzerland and Cameroon by way of attacking firepower to qualify for Group G. The draw could pit Serbia against Portugal if both teams finish in their earmarked positions in their groups, representing a fascinating rematch following the heated qualification process, although that could prove to be a step too far for them this time around. Cameroon have struggled at this level in recent appearances, having finished bottom of their group in 2010 and 2014, and we expect that to continue in Qatar this time around. While it may not be a huge surprise to see them go one better by claiming a point or two, we cannot see them finishing above second position ahead of Brazil, Switzerland and Serbia in what appears to be an incredibly competitive group. In their last 4 appearances at the FIFA World Cup, Switzerland have failed only once to reach the knockout rounds. Regarding form, they have been very inconsistent ahead of this World Cup, but if we remember Euro 2020, they were the nation that knocked world champions France out. The Swiss play a very physical game, which is embodied by their fiery captain Granit Xhaka. They also have a very complete team with good players in every position and pace up front. They might try to use the pace of Breel Embolo to exploit Thiago Silva when they play Brazil, but will have to make sure that they do not become overzealous. The Swiss will believe that they will join Brazil and advance through this group, but Serbia and Cameroon are not easy teams to beat. They will have to show the form that they had in the last World Cup and at Euro 2020, and still they might fall short. The Serbian team will have to be at their best when they play Brazil in their Group G opener, or they might find themselves playing catch-up early. The last of the World Cup draws group is Group H. This 8th group has everyone's favorite Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, along with Ghana, Uruguay and South Korea. Portugal have not made it further than the round of 16 stage since finishing 4th in 2006. That was Cristiano Ronaldo's first World Cup, and as he confirmed in his tell-all interview with Piers Morgan this week, this one will be his last. Back in 2006, Ronaldo walked into a star-studded team. Portugal had the likes of Luis Figo, Ricardo Carvalho and Deco, and many felt it was their best chance. But like many other nations in the World Cup, Portugal have quality players all over the pitch and don't seem to be struggling in any position. With a solid defense, a well-balanced midfield, and some fierce attackers, Portugal should win this group. They should also at least make the quarterfinals this time around, but they must be wary as one slip could mean a round of 16 tie against Brazil. Ghana enter this World Cup as the lowest ranked side in the tournament. The Black Stars know that it will be difficult to navigate a path of glory, but were handed a boost when Atletico Bilbao striker Inaka Williams chose to play for them over Spain, and talented Brighton right back Tariq Lamptey opted for the African nation over England. With that being said, Ghana have a good chance to advance if they don't see a ghost in Luis Suarez when they face Uruguay. In fact, it's a shot at redemption for the Black Stars after the events of the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa, when Luis Suarez sent Africa's only hope into Africa's World Cup crashing out with a hand of the devil moment. The last team we will be talking about in this group is Uruguay. They have many exciting players who are doing well, such as Valverde, Federico Valverde, Darwin Núñez, Rodrigo Benteke, and Ronald Araujo. But they also have players who are past their best: Suarez, Edison Cavani, and Diego Godin. It's always good to mix experience and youth, but in a month-long tournament, one wonders whether the old players will have the legs to keep up as the tournament progresses into the latter stages. Uruguay do have enough quality to get out of this group, and their recent form shows that they do not concede goals in a hurry. They have only conceded 2 goals in their last 9 internationals, and their attackers can hurt any opposition. Liverpool's Núñez seems to have hit form just in time for the World Cup, and Tottenham Hotspur's midfielder Benteke has been a shining light in an inconsistent team. But there is no doubt that the engine of this Uruguay side will be Federico Valverde. Valverde's diversity, as he has shown at Real Madrid, means that he can play anywhere he's asked to, and still be one of the best players on the pitch. For Uruguay, he is used in the center of the midfield alongside Benteke. He has explosive pace, he is not afraid to take a tackle, and will be running the length and width of the field for the full 90 minutes. Valverde has also been getting among the goals for Real Madrid this season. The underdogs, along with the star teams, everyone is worth watching this year. Every team has that one star player that'll do wonders. We will surely watch every single game during this year's World Cup. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like this video, drop a comment below, and hit the subscribe button. We will definitely see you soon as we cover all the World Cup content, as this World Cup has officially kicked off.